for Anastasia Tsulkis for hosting these 2 days. I always love to hear her interview the artists because she always has done so much homework before she gets here that all of us learn an awful lot that we didn't know before. I want to thank our funders, without whom nothing would be possible, especially the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation, the Doris Duke Charitable Foundation, and the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs. I want to thank all of the artists who are participating for their amazing talent and inspiration, and for the Chamber Music America staff, particularly Gina Izo, who is right over there, who was very involved in the planning and preparing for this event, and all of the staff for all of the work they do throughout the year. Before we listen to Helen Sung, I want to tell you just a little bit about our commissioning program. Chamber Music America is dedicated to new music and living composers. And we have 2 different commissioning programs, one for classical and one for jazz. And in 2014, we had 211 applications to the jazz program. And the way that the adjudication works is a panel of musicians listens to all of the recordings that are sent in by the applicants, but they don't know who they're listening to. It's called blind listening. And they just listen to all the recordings and then they begin to eliminate. And of those 211 applications, they chose 9 to receive grants that year. And Helen Sung was one of those 9. So that puts her, I think, in the top 4% in the country of musicians and composers who applied to that program. Helen is amazing. The first time I heard her play, I was watching television and there was a concert live from the White House, and I think Helen was playing as part of the Thelonious Monk Institute, and I didn't know who she was, and I thought it was just absolutely incredible artistry. She's terrific. So are we ready? I don't know. We're not ready. So if we're not ready, I still can tell you more about Chamber Music America. Our world headquarters is here in New York City, and we have a website. If you are interested in becoming part of Chamber Music America as a musician or as a concert presenter or as a person who loves music, please visit chamber-music.org, and you can see all of the different things that we do throughout the year. Oh, okay. So you'll introduce us? Oh, okay.
And a couple of more notes for you today. This is a festival that's running until 9 p.m. tonight, so we do hope you'll stick around. Derek Bermel, whom you just heard on clarinet and many of his own compositions, will be returning to the stage in just a little bit, actually. But there's going to be great music until 9 p.m. tonight, so stick around, tell your friends. And this is part of a larger initiative by Bryant Park Presents that brings great music and live performances to the lawn all summer long. And every Friday night, you can hear music here until September 15th. And check out bryantpark.org for more information about the amazing performances that Bryant Park presents every year. And this is the second Intersect Festival we've done, but one that's been curated by Patrick Zimmerly. And it's one of the great opportunities to hear new voices, both compositional voices and emerging talents, as well as very well-established talents. And that's something that will continue for the rest of the day today. And just to give you a short preview of what you'll be hearing next, at 5 p.m., the vocalist Luciana Souza will be here, along along with our curator, Patrick Zimmerly, to perform one of Patrick's own works, a cycle called Sappho Desire. At 6 p.m., we'll hear the Manhattan Chamber Players, and they'll be playing one of Derek's pieces, Death with Interruptions, a beautiful piece of his. And then that's going to be juxtaposed by one of the staples of the new music repertoire, Arnold Schoenberg's Transfigured Night. And what a beautiful way to usher in the evening here at Bryant Park. At 7 o'clock, Derek will return to the stage in a very intriguing performance. As you may have just heard him here, hip-hop is really home base for him, as well as classical music in a lot of ways. And the project he'll be presenting at 7, Half and Half by Derek Bermel and Nate Smith, really brings together his love of hip-hop with new music. And at 8 p.m., we'll be joined by the Metropolis Ensemble, directed and conducted by Andrew Sear, and we'll be hearing a world premiere tonight by Matthew Evan Taylor, Prayer Service for Ernestine, as well as Derek Bermel's Three Rivers. So please stay here for that. Enjoy a magical day here at Bryant Park. And I'll reintroduce Margaret so she can tell us more about the band.
So in your program is a little information about Helen Sung and her ensemble and the piece that she wrote in 2014 and 15 for her Chamber Music America commission. Yeah, okay. I think we're ready. So it is my great pleasure and privilege to introduce Helen Sung and Sung with Words.
I can't hear. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Margaret, and thank Chamber Music America, Bryant Park, and the City of New York for this beautiful opportunity to share some music in the middle of New York City. We're going to start with an instrumental composition from the piece, and in some way speaks of what you guys are about to embark on with us. It's called Into the Unknown. Thank you for coming into the unknown with us. unknown, with John Ellis on tenor saxophone, Marcus Printup on trumpet and flugelhorn, Samuel Torres on the percussion, Donald Edwards on the drums, and Ruben Rogers on the bass. Thank you so much. Well, as Margaret told you so masterfully, the music sung with words uses the poetry of the renowned poet Dana Gioia as lyrics. And if you don't know Dana, he has a very interesting career. He was chairman of the National Endowment for 2 terms. He's the state of California's poet laureate. And if you ever heard of Jello Jigglers, he came up with that campaign. So I think that's pretty cool. But he also wrote some, and continues to write, amazing poetry. And to sing this first song, we want to welcome up the amazing Jean Baylor.